gas up the Jeep, it's good to be free. Load up the pans and fishing poles. The highway is long, the wheels turning round. Pack up the cook stove and the bowls. Arlo and I, we hit the open road. Arlo and I are on the road.
Well, I'm back in the kitchen again today, and I thought I would do something a little different. I don't do a lot of baking, so I don't even have a lot of baking supplies around the house. But today I thought that I would make kind of a fun recipe, an almond cake. Now, one day when I was working in our restaurant, Brian's Barbecue in Arizona here, a beautiful older lady came in, and we began talking. And now the reason why I was drawn to her and started talking to her in the first place, other than the fact that she was super sweet, was the fact that she looked so much like my grandmother, who passed away a long time ago. But my grandmother was also, she was born in the United States, but she was 100% Swedish, and they looked so much alike, and it was almost like I was stopped in my tracks by this woman that came in, and I started talking to her and telling her, that she looked so much like my grandmother, and it was like almost like my grandmother was there speaking to me, which was so cool. Anyway, became friendly with her, and then she came back another time, and she brought me a recipe for her famous almond cake. Her name was Ulla, and this is Ulla's almond cake. And I've had this recipe for years, and I've actually never made it, and I was thinking about her and the recipe the other day, and I thought that, well, I would take it out and I would make it. So here we go. This is Ulla's almond cake. All right, now this recipe is so simple, it's almost not even a recipe at all. Really, it's just the almond flour. This is ground almonds. Now you can get more natural ground almonds with the skin still on it, so it has sort of a tan brown color. And then this one is with blanched almonds, so it's just a lighter color. So I wanted it to be a little bit lighter, so I got this one, but I think either one would be perfect for this. Sugar, baking powder. She calls for bitter almond. I didn't have any bitter almonds, but I do have this almond extract, so I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. Eggs, and that's it. You bake it in a 350 degree oven for about 40 minutes, and it's done. So I'm going to get started now. I'm only making this small little batch, so I was going to bake them in these tiny little pie dishes so that I can give them away. I don't eat a lot of sweets typically, but my neighbors will really enjoy this, so I'm going to make them in these little pie tins here. So anyway, let's get started on Ulla's almond cake. Okay, in her instructions, she says just to combine the sugar. So I have 3/4 of a cup of sugar. The baking powder, this is a half of a teaspoon of baking powder. 3 eggs. And then she says to add a couple drops of the bitter almond extract. Which, like I said, I don't have the bitter almond, but I do have this regular almond extract. So I'm going to put just a tiny little couple drops of that in there. Okay. And then she says to mix all this together with a wooden spoon. Now the only liquid in here are the eggs. Okay, and then to that I'm going to add our 1 cup of almond flour, almond meal. Get all that mixed together. Okay, makes a nice batter like this. And now I took those little pans and I did rub them with some butter inside. So I have that. I have 4 of those tins, and I'm going to fill up the tins. I don't know how many I'm going to get. 3 of these little tins with the batter in it. I'm going to put those on this little tray. I probably overfilled them once again. I always have a bad habit of doing that, but we will see. Okay, so I ended up with 3 of those nice little tins with the batter in there. Hopefully I didn't overfill them. I always have a tendency to overfill everything, but I think those are going to be perfect. So we're going to put this, I'm actually going to do this in the toaster oven. So I'm going to put these in a 350 degree oven. She says for 40 minutes, we'll see. Okay. So our little cakes were in the oven for about actually 25 minutes in the toaster oven at 350. So that was perfect for this, and they came out really nice, and they smell so nice of almond. They smell delicious, and they're nice and soft and chewy. I didn't know what to serve with this, so I happened to have some strawberries and some blueberries in the refrigerator. So I threw them in a pan with a little sugar and some of this little bit of port wine, and reduced it down. And I have this nice little berry stuff here. So I'm going to put some of that on here. I also have some basil from my garden, Thai basil. I'm going to use that as well, and then we're going to try it out. Okay, we'll add some of our, I guess, a little fruit compote. And put that just here along the edge, just like that. And then I have some of that Thai basil right there. We'll just do it like that. All right, so there it is. That's Ulla's almond cake, which I've added a little bit of fruit compote, which I made with port wine and some Thai basil. But super simple dessert. Let's see, I'm gonna try it. First I'm gonna try a little bit of that cake just by itself. That's amazing. It has like the most delicious like chew to it, you know, where it's a little bit crusty on the edges. That is like a delicious chew. And then a little bit with that port wine compote on there, which is delicious. Really adds another element to it. But honestly, this cake does not need anything to make it taste delicious. It's really good just on its own, and it would be great with just, you know, some fresh berries, or possibly just some ice cream or something like that. That would be a perfect complement to it. But the way I did it here, I just happen to have some berries and some port wine here, so I thought I'd do something a little bit more, but you don't really need to. That is so good. And then a little bit of that basil. I love Thai basil. Just adds that little bit of I don't know, mysterious kind of flavor. It's got a basil, but a little bit maybe basil and aniseed kind of flavor maybe. But the cake, that cake is delicious. It's so simple and it's so good. Ulla, if you're watching this video, please leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for this recipe. That's delicious. Nice little treat this afternoon. Delicious. Thanks again for following along. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe. That always helps us a lot. And we will see you next one.
Gas up the Jeep, it's fun to be free. Load up the pans and fishing poles. Arlo and I, we hit the open road. Arlo and I on the road.